Georgia, 9.5 wins. A lot of people know kind of laying the land here with what they have. The biggest keys here. And real quick, I want to get this. Big Gator Swag says I've got us at 9-3. Could wholeheartedly see that. Like, do not want it to be taken as disrespect against Florida. It's just got to prove some things, and I love the makeup of the roster. Georgia over under 9.5 wins. Will, I'm going to start it off with a hot take here. I'm taking the under on the Dogs. 9-3, a regression season in terms of record. Because here's the two big things for me. I like the makeup of Gunnar Stockton. I love it. I like the mentality of what he brings. But does the talent follow in suit to what they need at the quarterback position? It's not a quarterback-dependent offense, but they need a really good playmaker. Does he make enough growth? And then the next part, man, which is going to directly, go with that, because I think this defense is going to be really good. Like, I think it's going to be really good again. The run game. Nate Frazier's back. But that offensive line lost a lot off a group that wasn't great at running the football. One of the more historically bad years over the past decade for running the football for Georgia. If they can't get back to who they are, they're going to put too much pressure on Gunnar Stockton. I think that does not bode well for them. I'm taking the under at 9.5. I would go 9-3. Big Gator Swag says Georgia 8-4. There's not a ton of questions about Georgia. They're just very, very important ones. Offensive line and quarterback, which kind of sounds, I guess, a little bit familiar to the team that you cheer for there too. I think a lot of people just assume it's going to be okay, but they've got to answer those questions. The good thing is they don't really have a marquee matchup to start the seasons off, so they can kind of work some of these guys in.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you here and take the over.
You said I was pandering. I was pandering to the fan base back here. That's what I get it.
I'm going to take the over because I think I'm trying to find the right words here. It was time for Georgia to make a change at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for the team, the culture of the program and this 2025 team is going to be very beneficial. And that is one of the things that you can't quantify. There's no metric for culture and for the players playing for each other. I think the way the season ended and kind of just all of 2024, even though it was wildly successful, won the SEC, made the college football playoff. You got to know for Kirby Smart that 2024, he's got a bad taste in his mouth about the whole season, because Georgia did not feel like Georgia for the majority of the season. So I think the culture gets back to where it has been in the past. I think Kirby Smart is probably the hungriest head coach in the country, or at least the most vocal about how hungry he is at wanting to be successful. I think the schedule for the most part sets up pretty good for Georgia. We talked about how crazy it was last year. They went on the road. This year they've got all these tough games at home.
Mm-hmm.
Early in the year, they play Tennessee and Alabama both in September, have a bye week in between them. But we know what Kirby Smart has done to Tennessee since he's been at Georgia. They play Texas in November, but a home game. It's been a long time, I think, that we've had a big November home game for Georgia. And Texas coming to town, Athens is going to be rocking. You know that's going to be the 8 o'clock ABC game, unless both of these teams just fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
that's probably already penciled in. And then they get to play an extra home game on Black Friday in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against Georgia Tech. Playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I'm going with the over. I think, and it's just kind of a vibe thing for me, just because I think Georgia's going to get back to what Kirby Smart expects and what he wants them to be. I think a lot of 2024 they didn't have that. You look at the wide receivers they bring in the portal, namely make sure I get it right. Zachariah Branch, make sure I get that right. Also brought in his brother from USC, Zion, played defensive back. Bring in Noah Thomas from Texas A&M, big target for
Noah Thomas is really, really good.
Yeah, for oh my gosh, blanking on the quarterback now. I was doing so good with names, and now I blank. For whoever the quarterback is, because there's been a lot of talk about both quarterbacks that are returning for Georgia.
Oh,
Um,
Puglisi. You're talking about Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton and Ryan
Yeah, and
Puglisi.
Puglisi. Yeah.
Been a lot of talk about him, but
Yeah, he's good.
I'm going with the over mostly for vibes.
For vibes. And well, look, I can't. I'm not going to ever knock anybody for trusting what Kirby Smart has done because you talk about it, last year they weren't themselves. They found themselves in a quarterfinal. They won the SEC. Like, I mean, you can say they got there however you want to got there. They got there. But here's the thing for me: Sooner Cowboys or no, Big Gator Swag says Georgia has to go to 2 Knoxville, week 3 tough. Environment wise, yes.
We'll get to Tennessee.
We'll get to Tennessee in a second. Alabama's going to be the big test of who you are early in the season. That's the litmus test. I'm going to tell you right now, you're on upset watch 3 more times in the season when you go to Auburn, because that's Auburn's opportunity to stake the big marquee win, I think, of welcoming team into your place. You almost did it 2 years ago. Can you do it? There's no Brock Bowers. Can you do it this time? I think you're on upset watch against Ole Miss. We'll talk about them. And then I think you're on upset watch in Jacksonville because you talk about there's an opportunity for another marquee win for a program that's desperately going to need it in Florida. So, I think they'll take care of business at Mississippi State. Texas, you're not on upset watch. I think that's really a 50-50 top, game. And then the Georgia Tech game, man. I mean, I know we mess around with a lot of this, but like Georgia Tech played absolutely hair on fire in Sanford Stadium last year and did everything they possibly could except finish the game. Like that's just what happened. And that game has just become more respectable to the fact of where it's going to be competitive, like regardless of who wins. So there's not really, you're going to play Charlotte, you should beat them, but like that Friday, November 28th game is no longer just, hey, let's just tune up or rest some guys for the SEC title. So I think there's a legitimate cause to where when you get to 9.5, that's a lot to bet on. You're saying they're only going to lose 2. Man, they could roll. I mean, they could roll into November 15th against Texas with 2 losses already on the schedule if Gunnar Stockton isn't developed. And I'll say this too. The way they do get over that hump is if Zachariah Branch is much more than just a straight line guy. Like if they utilize Zachariah Branch correctly with Noah Thomas, with some of these other weapons that they have, holy cow, the offense could be dynamic and he could be a point guard for him. So I don't know. I like it. I'm going
over.
A couple comments.
We can go to yours first.
I think Georgia will lose 4 to 5 games this season. He also says I'll be in Athens for Texas and Georgia there as well. I'll go to this one. Kirby has done everything but develop a quarterback. Sans Todd Monken, Georgia's offense has been underperforming.
I've got a take for this.
Okay.
Are we trying to put it into words? Kirby Smart's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So he is the only coach that comes to memory where people are expecting a defensive-minded head coach to develop a quarterback. So I would say that that's not fair to put that on Kirby Smart.
His job's to hire the guy to develop them, right? Like that's where you could put the criticism is if they're not developing then. And that's where a lot of Georgia fans are putting the criticism, and that Bobo's the wrong hire for them.
I don't understand that. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
I've never.
Says he's the head coach. I guess my argument to your point, Will, would just be his job is to hire the guy to do that. He is not in the meetings to develop a quarterback. Like Nick Saban wasn't developing the quarterback. So okay, Sooner Cowboys says Brent Venables at Oklahoma as well. That's I guess fair too to a certain extent. Yeah, that's a good.
The responsibility begins and ends with the head coach, right? Yeah. If anything is subpar, it's on the head coach. To either fix the problem or change the problem or whatever. It's on the head coach. I totally agree with that, but it just seems like everybody they jump up. Well, Kirby Smart can't develop a quarterback. Why you keep saying Kirby Smart? He's a defensive guy. What other defensive head coaches are we saying he can't develop a quarterback? I feel like we don't do that for everybody else. But here I go. Here I go again. I'm a DGD. I'm an Auburn fan, but I'm a DGD. So I'm going to bat for Georgia.